Don Lemon almost got fired from CNN for saying this.
This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Healey isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying
decade.
I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that politicians aren't in their prime.
We need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for like childbearing, or are you talking about prime for being president?
What the facts are. Google it. Everybody at home. When is a woman in her prime? It says 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I'm just saying Nikki Haley should be careful about saying that politicians are not in their prime and they need to be in their prime when they serve, because she wouldn't be in her prime according to
Google
or whatever it is.
So let's start at the beginning. Nikki Haley, former U.S. ambassador, said that she's running for president. And then she also made this claim that, hey, if you're also running for president or if you want to be president, you need to have some type of cognitive test if you're over the age of 75. You know what? Just hear it from Nikki herself.
We'll have term limits for Congress. And mandatory mental competency tests for politicians over 75 years old.
You do mental competency tests for anyone over the age of 75.
Now, I don't know if this was a dig against Donald Trump, who is 76 years old, or Joe Biden, who's 80 years old. But I think at the end of the day, it's clear. She's saying we need a fresh approach. Now, some people on the left were upset about Nikki Haley's comments, essentially calling them ageist. Here's Whoopi Goldberg having an issue with Nikki Haley trying to pronounce herself as the younger option.
The Washington establishment has failed us over and over and over again. It's time for a new generation of leadership.
You're not a new generation. You're 51. What are you talking about?
Compared to DC, that's a new generation.
Well, but it's not a new generation. She may be younger than most of those people, but her rhetoric is the same. She's saying the same BS.
Now, match what Whoopi Goldberg just said to what Don Lemon says.
This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry.
So after people started complaining that these comments seem sexist, Don Lemon did appear on the CNN morning show for a couple of days. And this is how CNN spun it.
CNN has denied a report that host Don Lemon has been benched over the sexist comments that he made previously, though he will not be hosting this Monday morning as a direct result of what he had to say about Nikki Haley's age and whether she's in her prime. That's according to Daily Beast. Mediaite reports that CNN is denying that report. The Daily Beast Lachlan Cartwright writes that CNN changed its Monday lineup to proceed without Lemon while conversations about his future are ongoing.
According to CNN Insider, Don Lemon is taking a holiday and will return on air depending on where his head is at. Lemon wrote last week, "The reference I made to a woman's prime this morning was inartful and irrelevant, as colleagues and loved ones have pointed out, and I regret it. A woman's age doesn't define her either personally or professionally. I have countless women in my life who prove that every day."
Now, Don Lemon's arch rival, Tucker Carlson, loved the fact that Don was in CNN jail. Here's what he had to say.
Don Lemon's long television career is finally over. Mr. Lemon has been sentenced by the High Court of Wokeness to a term in the HR gulag. He'll undergo a procedure called sensitivity training, which is always the first step to being disappeared, or in his case, to doing late-night infomercials on BET. Say goodbye to Don Lemon. His colleagues at CNN are adamant they don't want him back ever on moral grounds. So that's it.
Now, CNN didn't fire Don Lemon. What they did was they sent him to the sensitivity training gulags, as Tucker predicted. Check it out.
Don Lemon will return to the anchor desk of CNN This Morning on Wednesday after participating in formal training. CNN CEO Chris Licht told staff the news in a memo on Monday night, obtained by The Hollywood Reporter.
Now, here is Nikki Healey's response to both Don Lemon and Whoopi Goldberg's dig at her age.
Look, this is something that I have faced all of my life. If it was Don Lemon yesterday, it was Whoopi Goldberg the day before, there will be somebody else tomorrow. I have always made the liberals' heads explode. They can't stand the fact that a minority conservative female would not be on the Democratic side because they know I pull independents. They know I pull suburban women. They know I pull minorities over to what we are trying to do. And look, he made that comment. I wasn't sitting there saying sexist, middle-aged CNN anchors need to have mental competency tests, although he may have just proven that point. What I was saying is we need to be transparent. Those elected officials that are making key decisions for us Americans on national security and keeping our kids safe and the debt, yes, we need to know exactly that we're sending people that are mentally competent to do that.
Okay, so now let's jump into the opinion section. So this is my opinion about this whole situation. The phrase past your prime in context is nothing new, right? It depends on what we're talking about. NFL running backs are past their prime at like 27, 28 years old. If you're an NBA player, your prime is till you're about 30. So over 30, you're past your prime. Fashion models, men or women, are past their prime at age like 26. And just for kicks, lawyers are considered to be in their prime from the ages of 33, 34 to about the age of 40, 42. So if you're a 45-year-old lawyer, you're considered past your prime. Now, Don Lemon's mistake was claiming that women in general are past their prime at age 51. And without more context, that statement is pretty silly and pretty sexist because in the confines of what? Are we talking about prime age of childbirth? Are we talking about the prime age for politics? Are we talking about the prime age for modeling? All of these would account for different answers. The prime age for being a lawyer. But what do you think? Should Don Lemon be fired over those comments? The comment section is where it's at. If you like what you heard, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.